You want to be in the lane pretty much right away as Ogre. You kind of want to be here already, looking for them body blocking to like hit them right off the bat. I'm not sure what you're doing over here. Maybe waiting to intercept them, or maybe waiting to meet your courier. I'd say it's not really worth it. I think you should be here already hitting this boar, already hitting Beastmaster if the boar's like further back. You want to like pop out these trees if you aren't here already, messing up their blocks. You want to be like popping out of the trees and starting to hit things instantly. Whether it's your own creeps to keep equilibrium near here or just mess with them. Right now, Phoenix doing nothing. Phoenix should be up front and hitting you. Should be like up here somewhere hitting you. Or not you. Anti-Mage. And they should be establishing equilibrium. Beastmaster and his boar should hit their own creeps. And that would get the lane pushing out. And you are still over here. Ooh, yeah. Hit that hawk. Except they're close, so they might deny it. As long as you know the hawk is there, you can come back for it. This Ignite, great. Look, you're right on top of the hero if you want to chase. Conceptually, a fantastic Ignite. Is this the best time to use Ignite? I don't know, because Phoenix could come over here and it's like now 2v1 and the boar, and you have to just run away. So I don't know if this is the greatest time to fight. I think you should probably be like, instead of fighting Beastmaster up to here, so up to here is like, okay. And then as Phoenix gets further, and I'm pointing at the screen like you see, as Phoenix gets closer and closer, you should now like, you want to reposition. You're a good trader, but you don't want to fight 2.5 to 1, typically. So come back through here, push Phoenix off. But more importantly, the next creep wave is right around here. And if this continues, they're going to walk under the tower. You don't want that to happen, so run, chase this Phoenix, come stand out here, and you'll hold the next creep wave outside the tower. See, there they are. Oh, in this case, they pushed out just fast enough. Perfect. Not always 100% guaranteed to happen, though, so it's good for you to like be in the right position to make sure that we stay outside the tower. And yeah, here, look at you. Oh! So I didn't think you would die, but I knew you'd get a bad trade if Phoenix came over. In this case, you see how you die because you were in a spot where like easy for Phoenix to come and 2v1 you. So didn't need to do that. You want to be careful of... Let's just talk about this whole sequence, because you asked for the laning stage, and we're going to... My God, we'll give you the laning stage. All right, so... They dewarded the sentry. I actually wasn't paying attention. I was looking at chat. He might have put his sentry in the mid and gotten both, and then denied his own. Actually, you know what? We should go back before I start giving you fake advice. Okay, so... He denied both your sentries, and he really should kill his own sentry. Okay, actually, let me start from scratch. Let's break it down for everyone. So, I saw Phoenix kill this sentry, so I know he at least has a sentry that spots this spot. Then he kills this sentry. That should not... He either has 2 sentries or he has 1 sentry that got both, which we said was possible by putting it here. And so that's what I would assume to start. There's at least 1 sentry here. And if it's here, he's going to then kill his sentry. It's going to take him some time. There's possibly 2 sentries. 1 on this side and 1 on this side. So when you come and walk up here and just like place this sentry right now, scenario 1, there was a sentry in the middle. 2 branches from there. He's already killed his sentry, in which case you're good to go to place the sentry. Or he hasn't finished killing it yet. And that means you need to come kill this sentry with your sentry. Otherwise, yours is going to get dewarded. 3rd sentry for the cost of 1. So now you're committed to run out here and check, because you don't know. As you can see, this is possibly what can happen, because we saw Phoenix in this area. We know Beastmaster was here. So this is not the best time to have to come and deward something. Let's go back. 2 sentries instead of the 1 in the middle. 1 sentry probably on this half, 1 sentry somewhere over here. Same thing. I am not prepared to deward these sentries. So, in terms of removing enemy sentries, this is not the time to do this. I just want to block the camp. Okay, it's fine to like run up and attempt to block a camp, but it needs to be close, right? Because if they're going to deward your sentry, it's going to happen in the next 20 seconds. So if you just need to like last ditch block a camp, you can do this, but you have to do it at like 59 seconds or something, because then they don't have enough time to kill your sentry. But because you're kind of like out here, you're then like forced to fight. This is a good spot. You don't need to do anything right now in terms of causing problems for the lane. You just need to stop this pull, which you can easily do from like this angle, which is safer, and it doesn't even require the sentry. It also puts you in position to like do a pull or stack if you need to. Or you can just like poke the Beastmaster a little bit and scout out where the Phoenix is. You could also just wait a few seconds here instead of like moving in. So overall, this exchange I'd say is not great for you. Oh, and you almost do die there. So you can kind of see not great now, like anti-mage is being carried around. And I would say that was just a poor time for you to go. You don't want like that kind of stuff to happen. Okay, that actually, you know, not bad. You get a Beastmaster kill. Okay, we should just poke, not Skywrath. You are Skywrath. You should poke Lifestealer a lot. You're a ranged hero. He's melee. See, now you're checking for the pull. You should have seen this earlier. It's not like the end of the world, but it would mean you're like. The reason I'm pointing it out is not to like flame you like, you should have seen this. You could have seen this earlier, and the reason I just want to highlight it is because when you have the right kind of information, you can make like the best choices. So in this case, you didn't know it was here, so you came to check again. But we could have spent the whole time, instead of leaving to check, you could just be here the whole time harassing Lifestealer. Hit him like, let's see, we're leaving at like 120. So right now you could be down here just hitting him. And you could just spend, like, he could still be hitting him. Okay, let's back off because it's just the range creep now. We're still hitting him. And at this point, Shadow Shaman has to, like, come over and react or something. And then at that point, Skywrath can, or not Skywrath, CK can turn on him. You're a Skywrath. I don't like, I keep calling everyone Skywrath. CK could turn on him, and then you run over and concussive shot, you know, and then Shadow Shaman's in a bad spot, which is, he's kind of in a bad spot now anyways. But it would have been, you know, this guy's at, like, half health because of how much you're hitting him, rather than coming over to check a camp that never spawns. Walking in a little close. So this first one, fine. You have longer attack range than Shadow Shaman, 625. So you see you're in a little close, and that's why he's able to trade with you. He's at max range. He only has 400. So even when you trade with Shadow Shaman, you should be looking to get in a couple extra attacks. With a slow, you're like walking in way too close, you know? So far in this lane, I would say what I haven't seen is more like right clicks that are favorable to you. You might get a Shadow Shaman kill here, though. Ooh. I don't think you even need to use spells that much this lane, and only use them when you have to slow them. For the most part, I think you can just like stand on this left half of the lane, dodging Shadow Shaman, and poke the Lifestealer a lot. And then when you need to do pulls, you like back off and go for all that. But you just want to whittle them down, and then CK, like, you just leave it up to CK. Make it easy. It's a pub game. It's tough to coordinate, but you just let CK decide, like, I'm going to go in now, you know, because Lifestealer's at half health. And you don't have to try to, like, coordinate a 100-0 kill. You just do the whittling and then let CK. So, like, right now, we don't need to pull right now. We should just be hitting Lifestealer. And we'd get in more harass, keep him low. Pulls. You don't always have to pull. Pulling is an option. And the game plan is we want to win the laning stage, which is pretty much I want more golden XP than the enemy. Pulling can accomplish that, but it can also mess you up. It is a double-edged sword. You got to be careful about how you use it. If there is a way to win the lane without pulling, you can attempt that. You actually don't have to do a single pull on the laning stage. If you can just keep killing someone, you can keep harassing them. I'm not saying you don't need to do any pulls in this lane, but I think what I'm seeing is you're spending more time over on this side than I think you need to. And I think you should see a melee hero, and you should see a low range, slow Shadow Shaman, and you're a super fast, long range Skywrath with a strong CK to like act as a wall for you, And you should just like constantly be poking, and then as they get low and you accidentally shove the lane because you're here pulling creep aggro a bit, then we go and pull. But like this pull, like the equilibrium's fine. You don't need to do it. We just keep harassing. Okay, so shouldn't be behind Spectre. She's also melee, so you want the majority of damage, but not all of it, because she has some... What the heck? Where are her items? Her starting items? Why does she have an oof? Anyways, I think you're going to need to buy extra regen. After checking that, you should check your own heroes, your own allies. You need extra regen to balance the fact that she didn't buy any. And her item of choice is the Fairy Fire. You're going to need extra regen, and you can't let her tank too much damage. In fact, now that I've seen she has no regen, you need to tank. Originally, I was going to say like 70-30, 60-40. Now I'd bump it up to like 80% of the damage you want to absorb rather than the Spectre. So you can't be back here. You got to be like up here, hitting the Tidehunter, or like up here just baiting Lina to hit you instead of Spectre, and then hit your own creeps at any chance you get. Because you don't have decay. If you had decay, you should just keep running at Tide / Lina and like absorb it. But without that, I think you can't. You just have to get them to attack you and wait. Like just hit Tide there. Yeah. Whack it. Share tangos with your Spectre. Probably didn't think you had to. You were like, oh, the laning stage just started. She should have her own. Fool. She had none. So far, I feel very passive. And a lot of it is because we just don't have decay. And this is why I think you really need decay level 1. I don't think you ever really want to trade with the Clockwork that much. It's just gonna be tough because of Battery Assault. Also has, I think... Oh, actually, your stats are pretty similar. I thought he would have slightly better stats than Tide. But even if you harass out Clockwork, it's kind of good enough for Darkseer. Darkseer is more the target you would like to knock out of here. So, like, right here at the start, I think you're in a good spot to, like, do a little aggro trick and then come harass this Darkseer. And I feel like you go out looking for Clockwork, but I don't actually, like, want to deal with Clockwork too much. Like, I'll have to because it's just what'll happen. But if I'm in a spot to harass Darkseer for free, I'm going to take that. So I think you should be messing with Darkseer right there. Maybe even just gush him and do an aggro trick, gush him, run at him a bit. He's 2v1 in a way, like, based on your positioning, so you could just, like, start that fight. Lane is shoving. Gonna have to think about the pull coming up here. Never mind. Darkseer, Ion Shell. Gonna de-push it. You gotta be careful about stacking in this kind of lane. Okay, so here we're gonna see what I'm talking about, right? Like, I don't really want to deal with Clockwork. That sucked. That was awful, right? And we can kind of predict that ahead of time because Clockwork is a good 4, and he has a Darkseer who can Ion Shell him, so he's very dangerous. You only want to stop him from pulling. You never really want to engage him here. You can try your own pulls and you might have to engage him, but like those are the only 2 reasons we're ever going to engage him. You don't want to look for him for fun. As long as this is still alive, you're good. It's still alive, so you had no reason to walk out here. Only mess with Darkseer. Only back off when like Ion Shell is wrecking you or Clockwork comes in. Other than that, only like back off for like pulls. You can back off a little bit sometimes just to mess with their head, but don't actually look for Clockwork. Thanks for watching, friends. If you want one of your games analyzed, try to drop by one of the Wednesday streams. We do replay analysis giveaways there, starting at 6:30 p.m. Central Time every Wednesday, unless I'm not, in which case you might want to join the Discord to find out any notifications. Links are in the description. Thanks again, guys.